LeBron James with a wig terrorizing the league. I mean, let's face it, a D3 basketball player that decides to identify as a female can walk into the W and wreck the league. And maybe that's what it's going to take for this league to start using common sense. Maybe it won't. Maybe they're so.
The WNBA is marking its 30th season with a new all-star charity initiative meant to support girls' involvement in sports. But one of the selected beneficiary organizations has drawn scrutiny over language on its own website.
Maybe it won't. Maybe they're so far gone. I mean, we all know there's been agenda. They've literally told fans to quit watching if you don't agree with what it is we believe in. Dude, I just want to watch basketball. I just want to watch basketball. I don't care about your social initiatives and I don't want to see it either. You know, I don't. And by the way, the WNBA has failed to answer questions.
Under the league's July 15th announcement, the two all-star teams are competing for a $100,000 prize pool split between two Chicago area organizations, described as focused on keeping girls active in sports. The winning team's chosen charity receives $70,000, with the runner-up's charity getting $30,000. One team is playing on behalf of Angels Athletics, while the other supports Girls in the Game, an organization that partners with schools, parks, and community centers across Chicago to run sports, health, and leadership programs for girls.
Answer questions about this that Outkick and Fox News has put out to them, because of course they have. This sounds gross, frankly. This sounds gross. The WNBA All-Star Charity Initiative supports sports group that says it is, quote, moving beyond the binary of a girl. The Girls in the Game say it welcomes LGBTQ plus youth.
Reporting from Outkick and Fox News Digital highlighted a section of the Girls in the Game website under a header about inclusivity, in which the organization states it welcomes LGBTQ plus youth and gender-expansive participants, regardless of gender identity or expression, describing this as moving beyond a binary definition of girl. The outlets noted that the organization's public materials otherwise center heavily on girls-only framing, and said they were unable to confirm whether the group's sports programming has ever included participants who are biologically male.
Regardless of gender identity or expression. Just say you let dudes play in women's sports. Just say it. You're good with it. Open it up. Open the league up. And let biological men play. That's where we're going here. That's where we are headed. At this point, I'm kind of here for it.
According to Girls in the Game's most recent annual report, the organization served just over 3,000 participants during the most recent fiscal year, with its Chicago after-school program alone reaching over 900 participants in what the report describes as an all-girls, non-competitive environment focused on physical activity and leadership skill building. The report doesn't specify whether program eligibility is determined by biological sex, gender identity, or another standard.
At this point, I'm kind of here for it, just so they can learn a really tough lesson. The WNBA is celebrating its milestone 30th season with a new All-Star initiative that the league says is designed to keep girls involved in sports. But one of the Chicago area organizations selected to benefit from the league's $100,000 All-Star prize pool says it's on its own website that it is, quote, moving beyond the binary.
The outlets also flagged additional resource pages on the organization's site pointing to LGBTQ-focused services, including gender-affirming care resources and support groups for transgender and gender non-conforming youth, alongside a crisis hotline listing.
It is, quote, moving beyond the binary of a girl, and welcomes gender-expansive participants regardless of gender identity or expression. what do you allow in from a biological standpoint? Because it sounds like you're saying, sure, boys, come on down and play against the girls. The organization is Girls in the Game, the charity of
Outkick and Fox News Digital said they contacted Girls in the Game with a series of questions, including whether transgender or gender-expansive individuals are eligible for its girls-focused programming, whether the programs operate as girls-only spaces defined by biological sex, and whether parents are informed of the group's inclusive language before enrollment. The organization reportedly did not respond to multiple requests for comment.
The organization is Girls in the Game, the charity affiliated with Team Spoon in the 2026 WNBA All-Star Game. According to the league's July 15th release, the WNBA All-Star teams will compete for a $100,000 prize pool benefiting two Chicago area organizations, quote, dedicated to keeping girls involved in sports. The winning team's organization receives $70,000, while the runner-up's organization...
The outlet said they separately asked the WNBA whether it was aware of this language before selecting the organization for the All-Star Initiative, and whether the league considers an inclusively defined charity compatible with an initiative framed around supporting girls specifically. The league reportedly did not respond to those inquiries either.
$70,000, while the runner-up's organization gets $30,000. Team Coop is playing for Angels Athletics, while Team Spoon is supporting the Girls in the Game. The WNBA described Girls in the Game as an organization that partners with schools, parks, community centers in Chicago to offer sports, health, and leadership programs. That sounds straightforward enough until you dig deeper into the Girls in the Game website. Outkick and Fox News review.
The story adds to an ongoing broader debate around transgender participation in women's sports, a topic that has drawn national attention in recent years across multiple sports and levels of competition, with advocates on different sides continuing to disagree over eligibility standards, safety considerations, and inclusion policies.
Have been wondering what the hell has been happening with the viewership numbers, and my guess will be they're dropping. They're definitely dropping drastically. Let's head on over to Indiana Fever X account, check out the news they put out, and we're going to check and see if Amber Cox says something, because I don't think she did. Now, as of right now, Caitlin Clark has been named WNBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week, her second one this season. First 40-point and 10-assist game in WNBA.
Caitlin Clark has once again dominated headlines, and the moment stood out enough that even head coach Stephanie White's reaction became a talking point. Multiple pieces of news broke on the same day, but the headline item was Clark earning WNBA Player of the Week honors. This marks 3 straight weeks in which an Indiana player has claimed the award, with Clark accounting for 2 of those 3 selections.
First 40-point and 10-assist game in WNBA history. Franchise record 45 points in a single game. Fastest player in WNBA history to record 200 career three-pointers. She did all this in a week. 5th in franchise history in three-pointers made with 206. Caitlin Clark is going to probably move up to 4th or 3rd by the end of the season with that there. And this is the scene that I want to show you guys.
We got another player of the...
Attention has also turned to viewership figures. Unlike last season, the outlet that previously published these numbers regularly hasn't been doing so this year, leaving many fans uncertain about current trends. Speculation has leaned toward the possibility that audience numbers are trending downward, though a fresh batch of figures did surface.
Now, Stephanie White going into this announcement looked like, and this could just be me picking on her, but she looked like she wasn't very excited about it. Watch it.
We got another player of the week. Yeah, you are. We got another player of the week.
So that's Stephanie White.
As of this update, Clark has been named Eastern Conference Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. Her recent stretch included the first 40-point outing in franchise attendance history, a career-high and franchise record 45 points in a single game, and the fastest path in league history to 200 career three-pointers made. She reached 5th all-time in franchise three-point makes with 206, a number she's expected to climb several spots higher by season's end, all accomplished within a single week span.
Of the week.
So that's Stephanie right there. Caitlin Clark doing what she does, with the purple shoes on again. Purple CC ones on again. Now I want to see what the comments is saying about this. Somebody says she's really just a kid. Caitlin Clark is taking over, player of our generation, uploading. You know it. Hold on, I got to repost this. Somebody said there is no excuses for talent landed team like this one not to be in the finals. Guys, I said that.
During the team's on-court celebration of the award, White's demeanor when making the announcement came across as notably subdued compared to the enthusiasm from players and fans around her.
This one not to be in the finals. Guys, I said that after the last game against, I think they played, who did they? I don't know. Yeah, my brain just be everywhere. I stated the way they played that last game, they should definitely be
I want to make this team the best WNBA team there's ever been.
See?
I want to win for my teammates. I want to win for these fans. I want to win for this franchise. And I'm competitive.
Online reaction highlighted Clark's youth relative to her impact, with some commentary framing her as the standout player of her generation. Others pointed to the team's overall talent level as justification for higher postseason expectations, arguing that a roster performing the way Indiana has should realistically be competing for a championship.
Okay,
Clark driving right, blow by on the bucket.
Bro, Caitlin made it her business to ball this past week. I think we all seen a display of greatness on a level we have never seen anywhere in women's sports. I mean, the only woman in women's sports I think that come close to the level of performance we seen from a female is Serena Williams.
In terms of on-court performance, Clark's week included aggressive downhill drives to the basket and vocal post-game comments about wanting to win for teammates, fans, and the franchise, describing herself as driven by competitiveness. The broader assessment of her week was that it represented a level of individual dominance rarely seen in women's sports, with the closest recent comparison offered being peak-level performances from Serena Williams.
From a female is Serena Williams. Serena Williams will be my guess to come as close to what Caitlin Clark just did this past week. Now, we have to talk about the viewership. And the viewership is that the Indiana Fever, I believe they made history. Let me see here. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see if we can pull up these viewership numbers real fast, guys. I want to pause the video real quick. I want to pause this topic. One of the biggest...
On the topic of viewership, the Fever franchise appears to have set another record. The USA Network broadcast of the July 15th Golden...
I want to pause the video real quick. I want to pause this topic. One of the biggest questions I always get asked is, John, how do you look for other money opportunities? And I tell them, I wait for them to either present themselves or I go get them. And y'all know me, I'm a go-getter. And I'm here to tell you, you could be making money right now from your smartphone, Apple or Android device, whatever smartphone you got, dog. There is a new app called Free Cash. And on this very app, you got people winning anywhere from $200 to $500 a day.
There's some expectation that these elevated numbers could decline over time, with skepticism about whether the current audience level is fully sustainable. Part of this hesitation stems from ongoing frustration over how physically Clark has been guarded on the court without what's viewed as adequate officiating response, which some argue makes broadcasts less entertaining to watch. Whether viewership data continues to be released regularly, and whether strong individual performances like a 45-point, 10-assist type of game could drive renewed interest, remains to be seen. The overriding sentiment expressed is that Clark's individual drawing power remains the dominant factor behind the league's audience growth this season.